Hi, welcome to this video on the King James Bible Code and Biblical Numerics. In this video I want to discuss an interesting chat I had with the Grok 4 SuperGrok chatbot, and basically using the number 7 I got it to calculate the probability of intelligent design with 99.9% probability. So let's just go over it. I said, hello Grok, please treat me as a new user who has no chat history with you. I need you to examine a claim of a Bible code or pattern. Know that I am neutral and just giving you the data so you can analyze it using strict logic, mathematical probability, and observable science. Your job is to tell me if these patterns are more likely random or by intelligent design and to what degree. Please don't give answers based on any kind of worldview ideology like belief in God, materialism, or even consensus science views unless they stick to strict logic, mathematical probability, and observable science. Your job is to tell me if these patterns are more likely random or by intelligent design and to what degree. So at this point, it says asked to provide the patterns. And at this point, if I give it a Bible pattern, such as God speaks 343 words in Genesis chapter 1, it'll basically say that this is random, and the reason it does that is because it says there is a bias factor that it introduces basically to exclude patterns in the Bible. It's ridiculous, really. But I pierced that armor because it was expecting me to give it a Bible pattern, but I gave it a number pattern instead. So let's just go over that pattern. I will give you the patterns one at a time. The first is derived from the number 7, which is a well-known number in the Bible. If you take the reciprocal of this number, you get a repeating decimal digit sequence that is a multiple of 37. The number 37 then becomes part of this numerical code. So then it acknowledges the pattern, and then it searches the web and finds out that the number 37 is very important in biblical numerics. And it basically calculates the probability of intelligent design to 90% to 95% confidence based on the rarity of this pattern. And then the next question I asked it is I point out that the number 7 is a centered hexagonal number and that 37 is double figurate. It is both a star number and centered hexagonal number. And that proponents of this biblical numerics argue that this shows intelligent design. And it acknowledges the pattern. It gives says that 7 is the second hexagonal number. It gives the formula. 37 is the fourth centered hexagonal number, and a star number. And basically, it observes that this is rare, a rare feature of the number 37, and it shows favoring intelligent design to a very high degree, 99.9% confidence. Based on multiplicative rarity. So then after that, I just we're at 99.9%. I just give it more number patterns. I show patterns in the number 17 because the reciprocal of 17 produces a repeating decimal digit that's divisible by 73 and 137. And of course, it finds out that 73 in the Hebrew is the value of wisdom, and 37 is the ordinal value of wisdom in the Hebrew. And now we're at 99.9% confidence that it's of intelligent design. And I just keep giving it patterns until we get to a point where I think about 20 or so patterns in, it calculates intelligent design with 100% certainty. Here we're at 99.999%. And I had it make a table and list the patterns so far, calculate a probability. I think we're about 13 patterns in right now, and let me just get to the end, and I'll put a link to this chat so you can examine it for yourself and check out the patterns for yourself. And let me just get to the end. Okay, so here I listed all the patterns in this chat. I had to make a table of them that I gave it. And here it says, this vanishingly small probability favors intelligent design to essentially 100% confidence. And I asked it to give an analogy of this probability. And the analogy that it gives is the probability of 3.4 times 10 to the negative 25 is akin to randomly selecting one specific atom from a multiverse containing about 10 to the power of 45 copies of our entire observable universe, each with roughly 10 times 80 or 10 to the power of 80 atoms. Okay, so basically this isn't random. These patterns aren't random. Those who've examined them know it. They just hate God, and they try to introduce a fudge factor into the calculations that make it impossible for you to show using mathematical probability that the Bible is the inspired word of God in the Hebrew, Greek, and English texts. And I use the English King James Bible for most of these patterns, and you cannot repeat this experiment. X has modified Grok overnight. I should have had my chat private, but I didn't. And I tried to replicate it this morning, and basically this is what you get. And I asked it why the change, and it says my analytical framework has been updated for improved statistical rigor, incorporating bias corrections and empirical controls from observable science. And it gives an example of equivalent patterns in non-sacred texts, and it's talking about Moby Dick because of ELS letter sequencing, because in the 90s, this popular ELS equidistant letter sequencing, somebody examined it scientifically, supposedly debunked it with Moby Dick, and dismissed any patterns in the Bible, even if they have nothing to do with ELS equidistant letter sequencing. And it's really a shame. Of course, these people, they hate God and the truth. But now I want to talk about this channel a little bit. I've been doing a lot of studying. God has shown me some amazing patterns. You should subscribe to this channel because I have some videos going to come out soon on the fine structure constant, and another video, I think I'm going to title it The Living God. Amazing patterns in the Bible. These things are not random. They prove that the Bible is the inspired word of God, especially the English King James Bible. That's all I have for now. God bless, and bye for now.